So Dev, it's been very exciting in the last 1.5 years when you have, from the time you have joined Justbe, and this mother and son
Duo as son,
working working together has been so much fun. And where I see in today's generation where it's so difficult for children and parents working together, and over here you're just here with Justbe. I think you're more than me, you're just one with Justbe. That's like such a pleasure for me to see this. And there was a time when you said that, Mom, I'm never going to come back to India because I just love America and I love my education and I want to work here and maybe I want to settle there. And
Yeah, I really remember that.
And you said, is that okay? Do you remember what I said?
You were very composed when you were saying that. When you had no expectations, you're like, koi baat nahi, we'll have two homes, one in India and the other in the US. And you were very supportive, and I think through life you've always been supportive through any life choice that we've ever made. And
Because I learned this, that it's not your responsibility to make me happy, and you don't need to give up things in life, and I will never stop you explore. Maybe it may be not a great decision, or maybe it's not appropriate in my eyes, but I really feel that you need to figure that out.
And what I think is, it's very important for any decision maker, like maybe a mother and child, the child to figure out for themselves. Otherwise, it being a parent's decision, I think we both have seen a lot of kids just feeling very grumpy or having angst against the parents when decisions are made for them rather than them figuring it out themselves.
I know, because I think we handicap them. They are never able to think for themselves, because as a parent I do all the thinking. I've done that mistake when you all were younger, that I took a lot of decisions because I didn't know at that time that that's how I saw in India, that we all parents take decisions for our children. And I wanted to break that myth when I learned that, and I'm glad I learned it early.
And you've let both Vadan and I have our own failures, our own successes, and really call the shots for our life after a particular age. But you've given us that freedom, and it is allowed to grow us to a very different kind of maturity, or say a different level altogether.
But different perspective, right?
100%.
And it's interesting that how with your own learnings, whether it's been failure or it's been success, and to see things from your perspective has been such a pleasure. And it's so satisfying that you are trying to figure out life in your way, in your terms and conditions. And imagine a son saying that I may not come back, to here you are at Justbe.
Yeah, I remember how initially I was very against joining, say, any family business, thinking that I want to start everything on my own and make that. But I think there's been a lot of learning from ground up. From the moment I stepped into these doors, I didn't enter as an owner, I entered as a manager who had to report to you with everything from kitchen, KST, F&B, is from social media. Even when we initially started out, me trying to help out or work with you, and always I think whatever I've learned is from you, where the work ethic, from how to walk with the team, and really working with the team has brought in so much of humility in terms of just understanding where they come from and what makes them want to work harder. And by the end of it all, the dish that comes on the table is filled with love, because they love where they work, and that is the secret ingredient to any successful dish.
And Dev, I have to say this, that last year in February, your birthday, and at home when the whole team from Justbe, 25 of them, came home, and we all did a surprise for you, and they surprised me too by making these huge posters, like I've only seen of celebrities and actors, and
I felt like a politician that day.
Yes, I mean such huge posters of the best boss in the world. And Is there anything else? I don't think, Dave, I'm sorry, but your degree from your university in America made me happy. No, but this was like, Dave, you're on the right track. Like that was something which I
This
felt.
practical learning has actually been the best degree and the most what I've learned. And to be honest, I might have learned a lot of theory, I might have learned a lot of literature, but when I applied it and I really fine tuned it to work in the real world, it brought out its truest fruit. And that was only possible because of Justbe and you.
Dave, can I just say something which is very personal
Please, sure.
about you?
Okay.
Okay. So, when you came back from America and you were living with us, you were very grumpy because you're not happy to be here, because you had different plans. But COVID changed your plans, and you had to be here where you were looking for a job at that time along with your education, and you were like, don't call me, I just got a job somewhere and I have to join after a month. And I'm like, what about if COVID hits you? And you're like, Mom, it'll just be over in a week, 10 days time. And the tickets are so expensive. You're such a conjuice anyways. The tickets are so expensive. Why are you why are you calling me now? And I'm like, I don't care, and I forced you to be here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did that. I'll never regret.
I'm glad too.
Yeah. And you came back really very confident. You came here with a lot of focus. You just knew what you wanted to do. Very smart. Like your body language and the way you spoke and that little cute accent of yours, I loved it. Everything was perfect. I told your dad, like one day in the morning, I woke up and like, Tarun, he has got everything right. But one of the most biggest essence which is missing is humility. And Dave, I was very worried because I can't teach humility to anybody. There's no university that can teach humility to anybody. You can't learn this. And when you chose that to join Justbe, I'm like, you know what? You need to be on the floor. And you have to start from the ground level. And today, very proudly, I can just say that it's beautiful to see that empathy and the way you stand with your team. It is beautiful, Dave. And now I'm not saying that because you're my son. I'm sorry, and I would never. I'm very, very, a boss here. I don't behave like a mom here when you are at work with me. All my love comes when we're at the dining table together at the cafe or home. That's where hello, eat well, because you neglect that a lot. But I would say that that is very important, and one of the most important thing which today I feel that every child needs to inculcate is actually being humble. And when I see you cleaning the floor with the team, when I see you leaving after everybody leaves and standing with them when they're tired and making them laugh and making the team, cracking jokes with them, or even having dinner with them, sitting down and having dinner with them, I think that's the big thing.
And it's a lot to do with where a person lands up and the kind of environment and what teaches it. Like being with the team, working with the team, it really made me understand with how hard they're working, and what they're doing is a lot more effort taking than our minds can even imagine. And with time, just watching you, observing you, and even sometimes being thoroughly scolded by you is
in front of everybody.
It also, a lot of it matters on where you come and how you start and look at work. Where you always were between Vasan and I, you were always very tough love with me. Where you're like, learn from the grassroots level. And I think there is some maternal part of you that
I was same with both of you. Okay. You can't just do that with me.
But I think this is the best thing that could happen, because through whatever, I think that entire chip on my shoulder went when we started working. I started working with the team shoulder to shoulder and understanding their pains, their happiness, what makes them feel so happy and moves them. And that's the moment when that barrier breaks of understanding, okay, between team and employer, for example. Now that's when the languaging changes and you call them like just be family. And that is when everyone comes together and puts their 100% to bring out something that is still running after 5 years. And it's a lot of credit of it goes to you. You've been the best teacher, to be honest.
And the best mom too?
Yes.
They, when you came back from US, because you were forced to, you were looking for a job, and at that time there was no job available because of the COVID. Then you said that let me just go to dad's office and work there, and there were too many people, and then mom, I can't work with machines. I don't know, I don't feel I fit in there.
It was too mundane after a point,
And then I said, okay, fine, why don't you come to Justbe, help me, I need help. And you came in, and you didn't had to last year, but you are here, even today. Like, what makes you stay back at Justbe with me?
And I think from day one, it was 11th of July 2021. And I feel like the only thing that just clicked is passion is always contagious. The passion of selfless sacrifice to making the world plant-based and making it so accessible to everyone. When I go out and I see prices of vegan food skyrocket into 800, 900 for just a pizza, it blows my mind. And then I understand what and why are we trying to do what we do, is to make it food for every home and not just selective homes. And I think that has made that entire shift to live, breathe. I really still want to live here, but that's a conversation for different times.
I'm not going to ask you to shift it to stay with me at home. But, Dave, my intention, where you align with, and your decisions I aligned with, has actually made us such a beautiful team. And I don't know how to thank the universe for making this not just my mission, but how dad walks the same path, like how I started, and how Vardhan, and today Vardhan's wife Deepthi, and you, and we all walk this path together. And I just feel so powerful. Do you?
100%.
I know that walking together has become so much smoother, and I just wish that every family, when there's a child who is into a plant-based lifestyle, or a parent who's a plant-based, and the families understand each other, because I just feel that it's so beautiful, it's so much fun to actually walk the paths together.
Together it's always far. Alone, it's always fast.
Yeah, that's a nice saying. I remember that. I know, and we don't want to walk fast. We want to walk far
and
together.
the farthest. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.